the Doctor, this is my section. Earth is under my protection. My planet of birth is Gallifrey. I've got 2 hearts, your life is safe. Run into the Master Raw, Missy. Come on, Alonzo. Alonzi. I am a Time Lord. No, I'm not Rick. 12 bodies and men. Now it's time for a switch. Don't look like that. I'm in great health. You were expecting someone else. Regeneration. Oh, such fun. When I say run, run, run. What's up, my boy? Peace and sanity. Sorry, I must dash. Reverse the polarity. Sometimes I'm north, but always a limey. Wibbly wobbly, timey-wimey. Jump in the TARDIS, go for a ride. It's bigger on the inside. Exploring all of time and space. Oh, what's that? Exterminate. Cyberman, a Dalek's baby. Would you like a jelly baby? Time's ticking, we'd best go. A new adventure, Geronimo. I am fantastic, so are you. Best come with me. I'm Doctor Who. Welcome to a brand new episode of D4WH. I am one of your hosts. I'm Adam O'Sullivan. Joining me, as always, is Nicchia Schutt.
Hello, Adam. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. I'm feeling a little off balance because we're not in our usual studio.
No, we're not in D4W headquarters anymore.
I know. I'm just easing into it. Just give me a cuddle every now and then and I'll know.
No deal.
Okay.
Today we have 2 special guests. You may know them collectively as the hosts of the very funny podcast, Ain't It Rich? Please welcome Mickey Flykick.
Hello.
And Aria Salan.
Hey
guys. Thanks so much for being on the podcast.
That's all right. I figured We Record Ain't It Rich would be nerdy enough for you guys anyway. There's enough pop culture shit around, as some people
Do you feel at home?
Yes.
Yeah, good. We feel very
Captain
comfortable.
America shield behind Nickia's head.
Yes, there is.
Dragon Ball Z poster behind Adam's.
Well, if we get attacked, I know what I'm grabbing.
I wouldn't.
Really?
It's very flimsy.
Oh.
That leads us into our first question. Guys, do you want to talk us through your history with Doctor Who?
So my wife's a Whovian, but she's a recent convert. She sort of found it like just after we were married. I think she really got into it. So 2014ish.
You drove her to it.
Apparently.
Yes, yeah. She's like, you've got your comics, I need my Doctor.
Yeah, I need something, just something more interesting than you. Yeah. I need a strong male role model in my life. I haven't got one. Yeah, so most of my Doctor Who viewing is over her shoulder sort of thing. Like,
okay.
And it's pretty funny watching him watch over her shoulder. Like, what was the thing you said that time? You were just like walked in and there was some Dalek drama going down. And he was just like, why is he mad at the dustbin?
See, in the 60s and 70s, people used to hide behind the couch. Mickey just hides behind his wife.
Apparently,
yeah. Tell me when the Daleks are over.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Take her first. Take her first.
Exterminate her. No.
Ooh. And Ari?
I watched Doctor Who when Ash, Mickey's wife, first got into it. Because we watch a lot of the same stuff. We're always watching telly together.
Yeah.
Unlike those two.
Again, she needs a strong masculine figure in her life.
You've been guiding her then.
Yeah.
Good.
And sometimes we just decide together as well, just because we have to put up with him.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, well, I'll introduce her to Nicchia, and she can have another masculine role model. I mean, strong role model, not masculine.
Yeah,
okay, I've fucked this podcast up.
Don't call girls bossy. Call us leaders.
So,
That's it.
So yeah, I
have
watched...
you been watching since the 2005 revival?
I stopped watching after the Ponds died.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Because the Ponds died, or you just couldn't get back into it?
I don't know, I hated Clara just because she wasn't the Ponds.
Yeah, true.
You know, like
Yep.
I was just grieving a lot and very emotionally affected,
Yeah.
I guess.
They weren't dead. They were just.
I know,
sent back
but
in
I was
time.
like, no, I want them back.
Oh, yeah.
And then Peter Capaldi came in, and then I was just mad at him for not being Matt Smith.
Yeah.
So then...
Well, I was going to say, you went through that doctor thing where you're like, he's not the doctor that I loved, but you did that for the companion. They're not the companions I loved, but then you also did it for the doctor, because you're like, that's also not the doctor
But I was
loved.
also just kind of heartbroken because the doctor was really angry at that point.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and it was like, it was hard to see him struggle like that.
Yeah, it was hard for me because Matt Smith's my favourite. So going to
Yeah.
Capaldi was hard. In the first few episodes, I think there's one where Clara slaps him, and I thought, oh, thank God, because I wanted to.
But I was also just mad at her for doing that. I'm like, don't hit him.
See, I was a bit of a Clara fan. I really liked her.
Yeah, I think if I go back and watch it now, I will.
I don't watch, but I have been getting weekly updates on what's happening in Doctor Who from another comedian, Dan Dennis.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
Who
yeah.
just keeps telling me, because this season seems like the weirdest one they've ever done. It seems like they're like, all right, so we did the female doctor thing. Let's just go for every woke topic we can cover. Let's just cram them all in.
Really?
So I'm very interested in what's happening in the most recent seasons.
It's
'cause
it's interesting
wild.
listening to like right-wing people on YouTube
Oh,
and
just-
them getting infuriated.
It is that it almost seems to be exclusively to annoy them, like
Yeah,
just
But
to go for
Whovians
those.
have always been predominantly lefties from
Yeah,
my
yeah.
experience.
Well,
Yeah.
I thought they were. I mean,
Yeah.
there are some, like George Christensen, the MP. He's a right-wing
Who
guy.
forced himself on Whovians.
Yeah,
Oh.
but he loves the Doctor.
Bah.
You know, and
I
yet-
just
and
feel
yet
like...
he doesn't accept everybody.
Is he
How did
watching
we-
the same show? Because the show has always had these themes throughout it.
Yeah.
How did we turn this podcast within
Into our
5
podcast?
minutes? We're shitting on conservatives. Like, fuck. What?
There's a
Oh,
lot
man.
of lovely conservatives out there.
All
I
right.
know.
Anyway, let's
Yeah.
continue. Let's continue. We start with our first segment, as always, Doctor Who news. Now, one of the most iconic images from the current season of Doctor Who is an image of Jodie Whittaker on a mountain in the foreground, her coat floating behind her, with the TARDIS on a separate peak in the background.
That is a great shot. That.
Both covered in darkness as the sun sets. Now, you may think that this was a carefully constructed PR idea, as I did, or the result of some skilled Photoshop skills, but it turns out that the image was a crazy random happenstance, as they say in Dr. Horrible's sing-along blog. Whilst on location at Palm Mountain in South Africa, filming the second episode, The Ghost Monument, the cast and crew were driving to the top of the mountain to begin filming when they were told to stop. The person who told them to stop was actor Sean Dooley, who plays Epzo in the episode, the galactic racer who was taught not to trust anyone by his mum.
Push him out of a tree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He jumped out of the car and started snapping pictures with his iPhone. He told Jodie to stand in the shot so her and the TARDIS were together. Then a breeze came along and we have the shot as we know it today.
And that was on his iPhone.
It just happened naturally. That's pretty
yeah,
dope.
yeah. He said
Did he have it on portrait mode? Because I love portrait mode.
She's currently obsessed with portrait
he
mode.
did a panorama and he's like, just
Wow.
stand there. No, he didn't do panorama.
Maybe did a couple of quick videos.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a boomerang. I don't know
If it was
what that
panorama, it would have been like cut Jodie Whittaker
Oh,
in
yeah,
the middle.
she would have had like a long face
Yeah,
or
yeah.
something.
Maybe we could get his phone. Do you know anyone in England who could steal it?
I've got family there.
Okay, cool.
First of all, great idea to come up with a plan to steal someone's phone. Secondly, good thing to mention it on a podcast.
On something you are definitely
And then
putting
also
out to
say
the
that
world.
it's
Yeah.
my family who will be doing the work.
Yeah.
There you go, police.
Let's get them on the phone and organise this right now, shall we? Jodie encouraged Sean to send the picture to executive producers Chris Chibnall and Matt Strevens. Sean states, I said to them, I think I've got a great picture of our doctor. And they were like, this is amazing. Then publicity came on board and now I've got a cup and a t-shirt with it on it.
Oh,
that
wow.
rules.
Does
Yeah.
he get
So
any money
cool.
for the photo?
I would assume he gets some sort of royalties.
Oh,
yeah.
he wants something.
It's a very good picture.
No, don't just give everyone copies of the photos I take on my iPhone, I can tell you.
Well, how many photos of Jodie Whittaker on location do you have on your iPhone?
Oh, you'd be surprised, Adam. You'd be surprised.
That's not official photos. That's called stalking. Okay, our
Yeah, you
episode.
don't get as much money for stalking
Yeah, I
photos.
know.
Oh, no, that's called the paparazzi.
Yeah, but there are laws in most countries against
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
I know.
It's like a Venn diagram of like on set, stalking, in the middle is paparazzi.
Yeah, that's it. Yep.
yeah.
Okay, our episode today is Dalek, Season 1, Episode 6, written by Robert Sherman and directed by Joe Ahern. Originally aired in the BBC on Saturday, April the 30th, 2005.
Oh, hundreds of years ago.
Yes, back in the Season 1. Okay, our short synopsis. The Doctor and his companion Rose are drawn to Salt Lake City by a call for help in the far-flung future of 2012. In a bunker deep underground, alien artifacts are being kept by billionaire Henry von Statton.
Henry von Statton.
That's right. And the distress call is coming from his new acquisition, a live alien specimen being tortured. The Doctor recognizes the creature immediately as the last remaining Dalek, but his warnings to destroy the creature fall on deaf ears.
As always.
And the creature escapes. Can the team work together to ensure that the Dalek doesn't escape the bunker and fulfill its primary order to exterminate? So the TARDIS lands in an underground bunker filled with alien artifacts.
Which is very convenient, isn't it? It's all on location, no money spent.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, it's all indoors,
and it's
yeah.
not
Yeah.
in a quarry.
You can use props
Doctor
from,
Who's normally
from
in a
that
quarry.
season.
And you could be anywhere. You could be in Salt Lake City. You could
Yeah.
be in New York, for all you know. So
I was happy to see Billie Piper as the companion because big fan of her work.
Yeah.
Just
I like
Diary
her when she was a
Of her
singer.
pop singer work, yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Not the other show she did that everyone else knows.
I mentioned in a
Diary
previous
of a Call Girl.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I mentioned in a previous episode that I had a copy of her single Because We Want To. Because
yeah, because we want to.
Oh wait, I think I know that song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we want to.
Yeah.
Oh my
Hell yeah.
goodness, I did not know that was her.
Absolute banger. Oh,
And
more
she also-
points.
She's trying to put
sang-
that behind her. Nice of you to bring it up.
She also sang Honey to the Bee.
Oh, she did too.
Honey to the Bee, that's you for.
I know.
Oh, I know that one too.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
Oh no.
Well, and they were really deep lyrics. That's what I like about it.
Yeah.
You know,
What pop
definitely
song
seems
has,
like
you know...
has deep lyrics. I
Yeah,
don't
what?
know.
So we also have the arm of a Slovene, a species that was introduced this series.
It was the Slovene.
was-
Stuffed Slovene.
Yes.
Sounds delicious.
Mm.
Sounds really good.
Yeah.
It's a good representation of how little budget the BBC gives to Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it's a brand new series, the show's coming back, they create one new monster and they use it in 3 out
Yeah.
of the 12 episodes.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. But also, like, this episode, the whole thing was shot in one location.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely.
And it's like, I think all of the money went into the Dalek.
Oh, animating the Dalek is probably
I
where
would-
all that
yeah.
CGI
Yeah.
went.
I
yeah.
would think so.
Oh,
Put
but I
enough
think it
money
makes
into
it fun.
Yeah, to a
It's-
degree.
there's
Gives
no-
it a little bit of kitsch, I guess.
Yeah, and there's
Yeah.
no Doctor Who in 2019, probably because they're trying to save money
Yeah.
Yeah.
on this massive property that earns them millions of dollars a year.
So
you know,
bizarre.
so crazy.
It is.
There's also the head of a Mondasian Cyberman, although
Yes.
technically the species would not be seen again until Series 6 in 2011. However, again, due to budget restrictions at the BBC, they kept the new design that they created in Season 2, which is technically a different version of Cyberman.
Okay, because that one's not scary.
Yeah.
Those
No.
ones
That's
with
the
hoses.
60s Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In my
Delayed.
day, Cybermen were the little green things that Vegeta brought to Earth to fight Goku and stuff. So.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my. That's
Oh,
that's
I'm
dragon.
sorry. Am I too nerdy for this Doctor Who podcast? Jesus
Yes.
Christ.
My
Oh
brain's
my
melting
God.
because I do know it's a Dragon Ball Z reference. So
There were these guys, they planted in the ground and they grew up into like little monster things.
wow.
And 2 of them exploded Yamcha.
What were they called?
Cybermen.
Cybermen.
But it was spelled
Oh,
Saiba.
Ah.
But it was the same sort of thing. Yeah. Back in my day.
Back in your
dear.
day.
So we'll have to do an episode on Dragon Ball Z.
I liked his cheeky smile before it went to the just as he
Eccleston?
just as he got arrested, gave a little cheeky
Yeah, yeah.
smile. I
Yeah,
liked that.
yeah.
Yeah, that just seems like the straightforward theme and opening. Like I know they change every season and stuff, so
No, at least they didn't have his face appearing. I hate it when their face
Yeah,
appears.
the old
Yeah.
iconic ones, they used to have the face.
Oh, that's right. I have
Yeah.
seen those. Yeah, it like superimposes in the side.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
just see Tom Baker's mug there, just like, ooh.
And for the Sylvester McCoy,
Yeah.
it has his face and then it has him winking at people, and it's like, don't
Yeah.
do that.
Oh,
He's
my
already
goodness.
considered like a mad doctor too,
Yeah.
as far as I know. So
I don't want
It's-
him winking at me.
Isn't the what's that show with the lighthouse called?
around the
Around the
twist.
twist.
Yeah, didn't they
Yeah.
do that?
Oh, did they? I
Yeah,
can't
they
remember.
used to superimpose the faces
Oh,
over
I
they
think
did,
they did,
and they'd
yeah.
always change
Yeah.
the characters
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
I loved that show, despite me not being able to remember what it's called.
Yes.
I really do love that show.
Sure, you did. You do remember their faces. That's about it.
Yeah.
About the effects, I guess it definitely has a thing of where the effects don't match the year. Like if you
No.
told me that was 2005 after the fact, I
Yeah.
would have been like, get fucked.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Like there's an episode from the second season where they fight a fully CGI monster, and it literally looks like something out of Resident Evil. You know?
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's
So it looks-
Beast Wars back in 1995.
It's very hard because Star Wars changed how people did, special effects.
Yeah.
Oh, of course,
So much. And Doctor Who doesn't have the budget to keep
Yeah.
up with that,
No, not
sadly.
at all. You can't build a giant $2 million robot, whatever.
No.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
George Lucas can bust that out.
Yeah, no, you can't.
we are introduced to Henry von Statton. Did we notice that the name of his chopper is Bad Wolf 1?
I
Yes.
Yes?
I did.
Do we know the significance of Bad Wolf?
I do.
Yes?
Mickey doesn't.
No,
I'm
no.
guessing by his very blank face.
There was an overarching...
hang on, make him guess. What's
Okay.
Bad Wolf 1?
What do you think the
Bad Wolf 1, that is when...
A wolf
it is-
goes bad?
Well, it's when, like... So you know how, like, they're relocating species in Yellowstone Park?
Yeah.
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 Bad Wolf 1 is when you, like, relocate the aggressive wolves. They have a
Okay.
special helicopter they load them into.
Bad Wolf. Bad Wolf.
Get them into Bad Wolf 1.
Right, you're off to one.
We got a bad wolf this time. This guy's an
suppose-
arsehole.
I
He's
suppose-
smoking in a no smoking area. This wolf is bad.
Yeah.
Look at his leather jacket.
He littered.
That motorcycle's too loud. Bad wolf.
Bad.
Surprisingly, hearing the name makes it very difficult to understand that it's Rose Tyler taking in the heart of the TARDIS and exterminating the Daleks,
At the end of the series.
putting a note
Okay.
throughout time and space for her to reach the. It's very
Okay, that's
it's
cool.
very
Complex.
convoluted.
I like that. No,
Yeah.
I like
It's not convoluted,
continuity.
it's just complex. There's
You
no
just
such
have to
thing as-
watch a lot of it. I don't think
Yeah,
it's that
yeah,
complex.
yeah.
You just have to see it a bunch.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
And what did we think of Henry?
Liked his mustache. Good bad guy mustache.
Yeah,
Was
yeah,
a
yeah.
good bad
Yeah.
guy.
I'm partial to a mustache, though.
I
will
see
say.
that.
Wait,
Oh,
are you,
can you?
are you Henry von Statton?
I own the internet, or whatever he said later.
Yeah.
That was so good.
That's so
It was
many.
such a 2005 joke too.
Oh,
I
there's a
know.
lot of that
Yeah.
in there. One coming up, I think, when we're introduced to his assistant.
And when one of the underlings suggests that it isn't wise to replace the American president, he is fired and ordered left with his memory wiped in a city that starts with M.
Yeah.
In case you didn't realize, this is our human bad guy for the episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a few times where he should be like twiddling his mustache.
Oh, for
being
sure.
like,
Just going,
Yeah.
You're all expendable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's basically just rubbing money on himself the whole episode.
nude.
Yeah, just like,
Smooth, rubbing money.
doctor, I have money.
Yeah, it's very Scrooge McDuck.
He's
It
also
is.
very just all the time talking about how much he likes his stuff.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
loves his stuff.
Yeah.
Big fan of stuff.
Don't hurt my stuff. Like, why would
Yeah.
you work for a guy who's constantly like, all these people could die? Actually, so here's my resignation. I will be
Yeah.
leaving.
I
That's
don't
get-
want to be killed by your stuff.
Yeah. Or get my memory wiped and end up
Yeah.
in Mildura.
Mildura. Good cheese.
Well, that's true. I'd enjoy the cheese.
Is it good to be a homeless, brain-dead junkie in Mildura?
Mildura, yeah.
I love that part of it too, where it's like, let's get a stab in on drug addicts. That's
Yeah,
fun.
yeah,
It's like, all right, doc, fuck, all right, cool.
It's not enough for them to wipe their memory and leave them on the side of the road. They also have to get them hooked on something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very sinister when you think about it.
It is a pretty awful way to get rid of somebody who had a promise. And what if they have a family? No one ever thinks of the person's
Yeah.
family,
Yeah.
do they?
But it's played like a joke.
I
Yeah, yeah.
know.
You're supposed to be like,
There's a lot of
but
stuff
then it's
in
actually
this.
super messed up.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of stuff in this that has like way bigger implications
Yeah,
than
yeah.
the little 2-second joke
Yes.
they make.
like his new underling, Diana Goddard, suggests a Democratic president because she thinks they're so funny.
Oh, political satire! Oh, burning political satire from Doctor Who.
It's a strange way for us to find out that Doctor Who's about Doctor Who's Republican leanings.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah.
That's what I thought was weird, where
Yeah.
it's like, they're funny. Oh, the party that's supposed to care about people and be for the worker, they're the funny ones.
Well, they would be to a billionaire like
Yeah.
Yeah.
Henry, wouldn't they?
But it wasn't even him. It was the lady. It was his
Yeah.
assistant
Yeah.
lady. He's like, they're funny.
I suppose she was just trying to come up with something that would not get her brain wiped.
I
End
think
up
she
being a
was
junkie.
trying to appease him.
As we've said, Henry von Statton owns the internet. This is definitely a parody of internet culture at the time, with the verb Google being added to the dictionary just over a year after this
Yeah.
episode
Oh,
aired.
really?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
this is like the
This is-
birth of mainstream internet. Is like
Yeah.
the early
Yeah.
2000s.
Well,
when
by
you think about it.
2005, the word Google had been used for
Already,
yeah, by about
Yeah.
3 years by then.
Yeah.
But I also remember people at school saying, because I was 15 when this episode was made,
Right.
and I remember people
Brr.
at school saying stuff like, I own the internet as a joke, and
Yeah.
it was really funny.
Yeah.
God, when you're 15, just the smallest things amuse you. don't
Yeah,
they?
and also at that period in time, it was like, the internet's so new and funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So funny.
Yeah.
That's
Owns
funny.
it.
And then we're all like, I have a mental illness because of the internet.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
But you know, like, the internet to us was like that Badger mushroom video.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
early
That was
days
it.
internet
Yeah.
was finding a little flash cartoon that made you giggle.
The internet's great. The boom will never burst.
Yeah.
Oh, look, the funniest thing is that I'm older than all of you, so when they put 3 computers in our grade 12 maths class, and only 3 guys ever used them, the computer nerds.
Yeah.
And they've all gone on to be rich. And we all looked at it, and I said, why am I learning about computers? I'm never going to use one.
Never.
What a dickhead I turned out to
And now
be.
you
It's
put
like
out
how there's a
podcast.
thing from like the head of IBM during like the 90s. It's like, no one's ever going to need more than 2 megabytes of RAM.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
That's just a guy who's not aware of his own industry.
And now you
Yeah.
can buy your own 5 terabyte.
Oh yeah,
hard
anything.
drive, you know,
Like,
yeah.
you can
Oh,
just
it's
jack your
incredible.
computer up insane. You can spend all your money on
Terabyte
it.
would definitely make a good villain in Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Or a wrestler.
The terabytes.
The terabytes, yeah, that's actually
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
A
Do they
race.
bite people?
BBC, at me.
Yeah.
But of course, spelled Terror.
Ah,
Yeah.
terror.
With a Z at the end.
because
terabytes.
it's the internet in the 90s.
Yeah, of
Yes.
course. But if you wanted one specific crazy rich person who made his money off the internet and is obsessed with the space, you could look no further than Elon Musk as a potential template for this character. And you guys have done an episode on Elon Musk.
Yeah,
Yes.
he done sucks. We will continue to do episodes on Elon Musk because he just keeps sucking.
Yeah. But if you found out Elon Musk had a bunker of alien artifacts, you'd be like, yeah, that's probably the least crazy
And
thing
then I get
about it.
mad because he's not sharing them with everyone.
Do you know
Bullshit.
what? You're so right, and
Yeah.
I didn't even make that connection
No, I
watching
didn't
this.
make it either. It's
But
good.
holy crap, that dude is Elon Musk.
Yeah.
He is, isn't
Yeah.
he?
A little bit, yeah.
My brain just blew up. Because you're right. Sorry.
Oh, you got it all over me.
I
Oh my
think
God,
the
can we-
reason why you've only sort of realized is they cram like a million different metaphors into this
Oh, yeah,
episode. They were
definitely.
just like, we need 12 morals.
But this is before Elon Musk was a thing.
'Cause
No,
he
he'd
had
already
it-
made all his money off
Yeah.
of the internet.
Right.
He had done
already-
PayPal and stuff.
PayPal was,
Yeah.
that's...
I'm not saying he was definitely the template, but he was like, he's the sort of person that they would have been parodying.
Yeah, and Elon Musk, yeah, you're right. If it came out that he had a bunch of... Even
Yeah.
if he was just collecting space junk,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like, you know how he just collects stuff that falls from the sky? If
Yeah.
Elon Musk
Billionaires
was doing that...
do that too.
Yeah.
Like Bezos likes collecting shit that's fallen into. Like they put on missions to go and find stuff that's fallen from space and
Yeah.
things like that all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
yeah. The billionaires love
That
space
was my
shit.
dream as a kid.
They love
Yeah.
space
Oh,
shit
me
because they
too.
know we're gonna put their
Billions.
fucking heads on pikes
Oh.
in about 12 months. So they need a way out.
And we're going to
Was
be like,
I into space?
Yeah.
yeah.
Girl,
Ari, did you
let
like
me
space?
tell you.
Okay, tell me.
Girl, let me tell you. When I was 11 years old, I applied to scholarship to NASA for a scholarship to go to school there for a month at their
Wow.
space camp, because they had like space camp and then they had like the academic sort of program.
Yeah.
And I got the scholarship, and I went over there when I was 12.
Wow.
And you went to space camp.
Yeah.
She's a proper space girl.
Oh my god!
Did you do
I
the
would've
vomit-
just
the
peed
vomit
my
comet?
pants.
No, I didn't, because
Oh.
the week before I left,
That's
I was
right.
messing around with my friend who played hockey
Yeah.
in our back paddock, and he hit me in the head with a hockey stick, and I burst my head open.
Oh, no.
And I had a really bad concussion, so I wasn't allowed to do it.
No.
I know. There was
Oh.
I missed out on the spinny thing as
Yeah.
well.
Oh, no.
You
Yeah,
did
I'd be happy
the-
to miss out on that.
You did the pretend mission though, right?
Yeah, I
You
did
like
the pretend
full
mission.
12-hour mission or whatever.
So the whole, like, it was basically, we were there, and the whole thing was we were training for this mission. So we all were given our roles,
Yeah.
and
What was your role?
I was a pilot.
Ooh.
And
great.
I was
top dog.
so happy. No, the commander's the top dog.
Oh, well,
pilot,
it's a high...
pilot's the second guy. Yes.
Let's give the person who can't do the 0G training the pilot role.
No, because it's just in a
No, I know.
simulator. It was one of the old space shuttle simulators that they used to use. Like they'd upgraded because they had fancier screens.
Yeah.
But everything else was the same. So I was training in
Wow.
the same thing that actual astronauts
Wow,
had
that's
trained in.
amazing.
That is so cool.
I've got a photo of me sitting in the cockpit of the space shuttle wearing a New York Yankees cap backwards because Lincoln Park was cool.
Hey.
So you're just gonna find a way to talk about space camp on every other podcast except ours.
Hey,
Like,
I haven't done it on the last two we've done.
that's true. You did.
I was gonna
This is
say-
a space
This is
I
podcast.
know. I was going to
I
say,
was-
if the doctor turns up, like, you're the most qualified. You're the one who's going to be like, come with me. We'll be like, God damn it.
God damn it! I would
bloody
love to
hell.
be a companion.
I've had a backpack since I was about 5.
Girl, I'll bring you with me. Don't
Oh,
worry.
okay.
He does like redheads too, so you've got an advantage there
Yeah.
as
There you
well.
go.
Yeah, he
on the
does.
You know what?
companion thing.
I don't think I want to bang the doctor.
No, I'm
No.
just saying his companions are redheads.
Oh,
It's
right.
not-
Yeah.
They didn't all bang him.
No.
I know, but
No,
just
but they all
he
wanted
bangs
to,
the
basically, yeah.
yeah, he
It is
does.
implied very heavily
Yeah,
almost
yeah.
every season that the companion wants to.
Thankfully, we're over that now.
Yeah, thank God for that.
Can I be the first queer companion? Oh no, Jack.
Bill. Oh,
Bill
Jack and
was.
Bill.
Oh,
Jack and Bill.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got our
No,
first
you can't.
Muslim.
Yeah, unless you go back in time and kill both of those, then you could.
Well,
The doctor probably wouldn't let you do that.
No,
also
yeah.
we probably can't go back in time, but that's a discussion for another podcast. I'll probably get bashed if I bring that up.
Now, don't be too literal when you're watching Doctor Who, people.
Depends what episode we're doing
Yeah.
as
True,
to
true.
as to how bad.
As
it
to
would
how
be.
much they want to embrace science or not. It's
Yes.
like,
You don't always have to embrace science, you
good.
know.
Yeah.
Ask the Republican Party.
So the Doctor was captured standing next to his TARDIS, and yet no one asks throughout the entire episode about the blue police box
I
that's
know!
now in the museum.
No, until they get back in it, and the guy's like, "Why are you getting in that box?"
Yeah,
It's like,
that
what?
made me so
Even
mad.
he's the guy who's bought all this stuff. And he's like, oh, this blue police box I've never seen before. Where the fuck
Yeah.
did this come from?
But also, why was he like, why are you getting in that box?
Yeah, why are you getting in that box?
Like, it just, I don't know, that guy
Rose,
was...
why are you getting in that box?
Yeah.
I can't do it.
It was very unnatural to
Like,
me.
you wouldn't
Yeah.
say that. You'd say, why are
Why?
you going
Where are
in
you
there?
going?
Yeah.
Why are you
Yeah.
going in there? Like,
Yeah.
Why are you going in that blue police box that's
Yeah,
been that way
exactly.
since the 60s?
yeah.
And is an iconic
And he
scene.
just starts humming the Doctor Who theme. This dialogue sucks.
This blue police box must have been brought to you by the BBC. Van Statton, worried about people breaking into his facility and finding out his secrets, takes the Doctor to see his only living alien specimen unprompted. He's the one who's like, come check it out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Come on. Guernsey.
I think it was a pride thing because the Doctor was like, yeah, I know that this thing plays music. And
Yeah.
he's like, oh, the guy knows more than me. You think you're so good?
Oh, yeah, there was
Come
a
and
big
look at
pissing
this.
competition
Yeah.
going
Come
on
check
at
out
some
my
point.
penis.
So I think that's what it was all about.
Doesn't Billy Piper say you can smell the testosterone?
Yeah.
Or
Something like that, yeah.
See, that's probably, we only picked up on that because we see it.
Yeah, we see it all the
They
time.
don't, they just live in it.
Oh, there's a pissing competition going on. Oh, he won.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that normally happens where you just fight with each other. Like Mickey and I have been trying to out testosterone.
Oh,
each
this
other all day.
entire thing has just
Yeah,
been like
yeah.
two rams at each other
Yeah.
the whole
I
time.
think I've been more of a ram than you have.
I'm
you know.
pretty sure
No,
my
I'm
horns are
pretty-
bigger.
yeah, I'm
pretty
pretty
sure
sure.
my horns are bigger.
The Doctor is introduced to the Metaltron. Sorry, he is locked in a dark room with a living alien species.
Yeah.
When the Doctor introduces himself, the alien creature comes to life, and so do the lights in the room.
Doesn't the guy say something like, last guy to touch it burst into flames?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Sounds like my ex-wife. Hey,
And
I've
the-
only been married once.
And the Doctor
And
goes,
still married.
oh, I won't touch it then. And he's like, no, you win this one.
Got me hoisted by my own petard.
Good comeback. Good bus.
It's a Dalek, an alien race thought extinct in the last great Time War, which wiped out the Daleks and the Time Lords.
No, it didn't wipe out the Daleks.
No, because there's multiple Daleks
Yeah,
that
they just keep falling out of the
through
Time
the
Rift.
fell through the Time War and ended up back on Earth. But
But none of the
Convenient.
Time Lords did, except the Doctor.
no,
Yeah.
I thought he did a pretty good job of freaking out about it, though.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
He did. Actually, like, I've never seen, in all of my over-the-shoulder watching, never seen a Doctor just, like, freak out
Oh,
that
yeah,
much
he
with
Yeah.
one
loses
alien.
it.
Yeah.
Eccleston's the king of the Echolectus parrot is the king of freaking out over stuff. I reckon he sells the bad effects so well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, he's so convincing
Yeah.
that...
It was really good, and, like, it was a good choice in, like, this is a serious show now.
Yeah.
Like, it
Yeah.
was a good choice to
Yeah.
do that.
So do you guys feel like the lore in this episode was pretty well explained for for somebody who
It was
doesn't know
explained
much?
quite a few times. I think that's my only objection, only
I
problem
really
with it.
thought
was
there'd
like,
be a PowerPoint presentation at some
No,
point.
no, but no, it was fine. Like you get it from the Doctor the first time, basically, and then you get it like he does it with Rose again later,
Yeah.
and then he
Yeah.
does it with the Dalek again.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
a little bit ham-fisted, as they
Yeah,
would say.
every time the Dalek and the Doctor meet, it's like, we're the same. Yeah, I know. We said that the last time we met.
Yeah, can you stop going on about it, you know?
We're still the same, Doctor. That's my
I
Doc-
If you want to ask me out, just ask me out.
I feel like the Dalek was just being a little bit roasty there too. He knew that the Doctor didn't like him saying that they were the same, so
Yeah.
he just kept bringing it up.
Yeah.
So basically the Dalek was saying, don't look down on me,
Yeah, exactly.
because you don't need a metal casing to live.
Yeah.
I love it when they've got the Dalek in the rain, or not the rain.
Oh, the
and he's
sunlight?
just killed everybody, and all the water's coming down, and
Ah.
he's looking so lonely standing
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
The whole
Oh my
thing
God.
does look very lonely, like for
Yeah.
some reason.
Why won't people love me?
Yeah.
Maybe if you stop killing them.
Maybe don't murder them.
Oh, really? Does that put people off you? Does it?
Yeah.
It does occasionally.
I often,
Some people don't like it.
I often wonder where our guests go. I haven't heard from any of them since they've been on our podcast. Do you know
Well,
anything
if
about that,
they do a
Nicchia?
good job, they get to live.
Oh, good. Fantastic. Does that mean I've been doing
No
a good
pressure,
job?
guys.
Oh, I already feel good about this, so it's fine.
The Dalek is underpowered and its weapon can't shoot. The Doctor is overjoyed, as we said, berating it for a bit before trying to electrocute it.
That was brutal.
Yeah.
And then we get like some more Van Statton dialogue about how he controls everything, I think, after
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Which means, did Van Statton do 9/11?
Oh,
If he's in
probably.
charge of
God.
everything.
Oh, God.
Van Statton did
Oh,
9/11.
God. It wasn't an inside job. It was an alien.
It was alien technology. That's how you can have holograms in this day and age.
That's why they need a Democrat president now.
That's right.
Because they're so funny.
No, it's so funny.
Yeah.
It's
You
fu-
know.
It was really funny when Obama like accidentally blew up a wedding with a drone strike. That was fucking hilarious.
Funny.
Ugh.
Democrats are funny.
Well, Speaking of that, we have Simmons the torturer, who looks like he rather enjoys his job.
Oh, yes.
A little too much.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He has
he's a
that creepy smile.
Smug
So his
bastard.
Doctor Who name is the Torturer.
Oh, yeah,
obviously.
definitely.
That's his Time Lord name.
Like, guys, let's all act surprised when someone investigates his house and finds, like, heads on spikes and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Yeah. He's the Jeffrey Dahmer of the Who.
yeah,
world.
like his furniture is covered in, like, human skin.
yeah, he's yeah.
He was such a nice guy. No, he wasn't. He was a torturer.
Yeah. He was so quiet. Yeah, tortured everyone all day.
Adam tries to convince Rose that aliens exist, and Rose feigns ignorance.
He talks about hacking into NASA, right?
Yeah.
He talks about hacking into
sorry,
the US
National
defense
Defense.
system, yes.
There's a dude who hacked multiple things like that.
Mm.
The actual man named Gary McKinnon. And I've just pulled up his Wikipedia page. He's
Yeah.
a sysadmin and hacker who was accused in 2002 of perpetrating the biggest military computer hack of all time. Although McKinnon himself states that he was merely looking for evidence of free energy suppression and a cover-up of UFO activity and other technologies potentially useful to the public. So this is a proper conspiracy dude who had the skills. He didn't really find anything.
Yeah.
And what didn't help their case is when they went, yeah, you're going to jail forever. 70 years in
Yes.
jail.
Yeah.
He would have faced up to
Yeah.
70 years
What?
in jail, potentially being sent to Guantanamo. He didn't get that, but he is no longer, like, he's not allowed on the internet.
Wow.
There's a whole big thing about, like, extradition and stuff. It's, like, a huge deal.
Imagine
We're not.
nowadays not being allowed on the internet.
That would be insane.
It's just how do
Yeah.
you live your life?
I mean, obviously, Henry von Statton wanted that information to be put out, that he was sent to jail. He obviously works for Henry von Statton.
Obviously, yeah. Already. He's already been recruited, yeah. That's why no one's seen him. They said, yeah, he's in Guantanamo Bay. No, the British government are, like, fighting extradition from the Americans to, like,
well, that's the
not
other
have
thing,
him persecuted.
because he said he almost caused World War III. He says it with a smile on his face.
Yeah.
Again, yeah, one of those lines that has way bigger implications.
Like, he's a
than, like,
psychopath.
Yeah.
He says his reason for doing it was like, oh, you should have seen people running around in terror, is what he doesn't say.
Yeah.
Like, that's a psychopath
Yeah,
answer.
he is getting off on
but
people's
then
fear.
Rose goes,
Yeah, Rose
no.
finds it endearing. She's like, let's take him
So
with us.
I thought at the time that she was like having him on because she was gonna like double cross him, and then she takes him, and I'm like, girl, no.
No.
He works for a literal supervillain.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know.
You don't take the henchman to a supervillain. Oh, you seem nice. Come with us.
yeah, there's no one takes a minion with them. No. You either kill them or let them go home to their family.
Or make memes out of them.
Yeah. We'll make
Well,
memes out
he
of
is the shortest lived companion in the entire series.
Really?
He lasts one episode.
Isn't he out the next
good.
episode?
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
I was
very
talking to
next
my wife
episode,
about it.
he-
They're like...
He leaves. He gets kicked out.
I was like, I already don't like that companion guy.
Yeah.
And she's like, yep, you won't like him even more on the next episode.
Yeah,
it's like,
exactly.
okay, cool.
Yeah.
The only good thing about it is the fact that he gets a window stuck in his head, so every
Nice.
time he clicks, it opens up and people freak out.
That's great.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Nothing like a brain window, I say.
Yes.
I call them podcasts.
Hey. They see
Gross.
Simmons torturing the Dalek, which seems like something you should really have some privacy for. Rose rushes off to help it, unaware of what it really is. She has never seen a Dalek before.
Well, yes, but you know, everyone on Earth, no matter how many times the Daleks invade, we forget.
Oh, and that's the other thing.
'Cause
Is
we're busy.
He tries to convince
We got
Rose
stuff going
that
on.
aliens exist. Meanwhile, within the show, Rose is literally just like in 2005, they have seen a spaceship smash into Big Ben and fall
Yeah.
into
That's
the Thames.
right.
Yeah.
That's
12.
bad continuity. I thought they were good at that stuff if they're doing that whole Bad Wolf thing, but apparently not.
They always have this excuse of like everyone forgets about the aliens. It's like no, people believe aliens exist now, and there is no proof of aliens.
Yeah.
So if there was proof of aliens, nobody's forgetting.
No, God, no.
No, but they've done that ever since the beginning. Don't know how many things turn up on Earth, try to kill everybody, and
Yeah.
then the next time something turns up, everyone goes, "Wow,
It's like how, like,
there's an alien."
one of the most recent Transformers was like about how the Transformers have been on the good side of history every time.
Oh yeah.
And just shown up and helped humanity. So, like, apparently, literally, this is not a joke, helped the Underground Railroad with
Oh,
Harriet
no.
Tubman.
Oh no.
That's in a Transformers
Oh
film.
no. Were they the literal train or?
Yeah, that's it. They're the Underground Railroad. They formed the train.
Jesus.
Jesus.
Van Statton captures the Doctor and shoots him with a ray, which shows him that the Doctor has two 2 hearts.
Yep, and very thin arms.
Yeah, and very, very Mancurian body.
I feel like he probably should have done some pull-ups before that.
He's a
But-
serious actor.
As we mentioned, I don't think we mentioned this yet. This is my wife's favorite Doctor.
Oh, right. Oh, fantastic.
So maybe like flabby skinny is her thing. Like that's just her. That's what she's into. So I
We'll
can't
we'll
blame
string
that
you up
much.
later and see what your body looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jesus.
That'll be hilarious, won't it?
Is that a promise?
But yeah, we were talking about how Christopher Eccleston is from the north. He definitely looks like the type of person who grew up on a council estate, you know, like...
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he does. And he's got no hair on his chest.
He doesn't. No,
Yeah.
he's
a hairless
not
cat.
one.
He'd
That's
be
the
right
thing.
at home next to Ewan McGregor in Trainspotting.
Yes. Well, he was in Trainspotting.
Oh, he was too. Well, then he would be, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
Wouldn't he? He'd be very much at home. In fact, I believe he is there and is on that film.
In fact, he was in the film and you didn't notice.
He'd be very at home on the IMDb page for that particular film. Oh, he's there? Fantastic.
It turns out that we have Roswell to thank for broadband.
Ah,
Yeah, that
really?
was
That is a genuine conspiracy.
Oh, is it?
That things like fiber optics was found in Alien, in Roswell stuff.
And not just
so
the natural progression of science.
But we didn't know what to do with them forever.
Ah.
So the government released those little lamps you could get, the fiber optic lamps,
Yeah.
just to be like, little nod to everyone. They're shaped like UFOs.
Oh
yeah.
my god. Yeah, because that's what the government does with
That's the only conspiracy
Yeah.
I
This is
believe, by the
hints.
way. That's it. That's the truest one to me.
I believe no conspiracy.
That is from an old radio show called Get This. You can listen to like
Oh,
old
wow.
episodes of that on the internet.
Wow.
They had a conspiracy call an episode, and the other one that was amazing was that Gough Whitlam shot down a UFO,
What, just
and he wanted to.
I'm
I'm not sure of the details of the shooting down. He wanted to tell the world about it, and
That's why he got out.
that's why the dismissal happened. Was because the Queen was like, "No, we can't tell them about the aliens."
And once he was dismissed from Parliament, he's like, well, there's no way I can tell people about it
now I can't do it. Now I'm just some nut job who got dismissed.
I'm just imagining that scene from Men in Black where, like, Will Smith is shooting down a spaceship, but instead it's Gough Whitlam.
It's Gough Whitlam just there.
Welcome to Earth!
The crazy thing is, you know who was in that spaceship?
Who?
Harold Holt. Yeah, that's where he'd been.
He was
Thank God
coming
we
home.
found him.
Found
He
it.
was bringing Elvis home.
I'm still getting over the fact that we're the only country who's lost a prime minister.
And then we named a pool after him.
We did.
There's a pool in like Sydney named after him.
Cruel, isn't
If there's
it?
not a bigger fuck you than just naming
That's
the, you know.
like literally a trope in like Melbourne comedy is to call something a Harold Holt, and
Yeah.
it's like the thing that someone comes over here and sees and goes, "What are you doing?" And everyone else goes, "What are you talking about?" The same thing with a certain brand of cheese.
Oh, yes.
Yes, I won't say its name
Yes.
because even just changing name.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway,
Mildura cheese? Really?
Yeah.
No, it's Bega. Bega. Everyone hates Bega.
yeah, bigger. Yeah, it's a 4-letter word that
Yeah.
no one likes hearing.
Don't Google it.
Bigger.
Don't Google Bega. You just go with Kraft. That's a 5-letter word.
It's a 5-letter word, much safer. Although it does start with K, like
It
like
does.
the Ku Klux Klan likes to do. So it still might be
They
racist.
might
Anyway,
like-
the Doctor tries to warn Van Statton.
Oh, Adam's experiencing what I do.
Yeah, but I just got slapped.
I love the tangents, but that's also like.
I just got to straight up just get in line. Yeah.
All right.
But with that tangent, we were getting closer and closer to the actual word, and I was like, "Oh, someone's just gonna straight out say it." So let's keep going. That was literally the two of you like testosterone each other.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
I was going to say, that's where the actual ram horn fight is happening. It's between me and the kid.
You are pushing each other both to the cliff, and you're like, "Go on, say it. Go on. All right, fucking will. I'll say it.
See,
fun to
Mickey, this
witness.
is the line of safety.
Yeah,
Jump over.
daring each other without explicitly daring each other.
Come on, do it.
The edit point.
If you do take that out, I want a copy of it.
Okay, all right. Outtakes episode.
We'll put it on our page.
Patreon bonus. Shit people didn't want on their
Do a
page.
Patreon bonus of us ruining other things.
Things Hey, anything you have to cut from your other podcast, send it to us. We just do a monthly Patreon of things other people didn't want on their podcast.
Even if it doesn't include the two of you. Just
Just give us everything, whatever.
Yeah. It's like 10 minutes where we just say the N-word. Send it over.
Career's ruined, yeah, in an instant. For $10 a month, though, so...
What do you expect?
The Doctor tries to warn Van Statton, telling him that a Dalek is better than him. Van Statton starts torturing the Doctor with his scanning ray, I suppose.
Yeah.
It's
yeah,
like-
look, I've had a CT scan. It didn't hurt like that.
Yeah.
I mean,
No,
what-
but
what-
like it shows up with the CT scan. It has to go through the imaging.
Yeah.
Whereas this thing, he shoots it at him, and then he's just that.
Yeah.
You're just like,
So the only thing that can do that is a heap of radiation, and that would be called an atom bomb.
Oh, yeah. So maybe he threw an atom bomb at him.
Yeah.
I love the idea that he just keeps scanning him to torture him, and the thing just keeps flashing. He has 2 hearts. He has 2 hearts. Yeah, I know. I'm just torturing him now.
Yeah,
okay?
yeah,
I don't
now
need to
I'm-
know he has 2 hearts.
I mean,
now this is fun. I don't...
we've always wanted to know if he has 2 of anything else.
Have we?
Jackie
just
Tyler
curious.
asked in one episode, "What else has he got 2 of?"
Oh, okay.
That was David Tennant's first episode.
Wow.
Well,
that's right.
I can understand thinking what's
Yeah.
going on in those pants.
Well, Van Statton doesn't scan the pants.
Ah, Scan the pants.
That's right. That's our favourite segment here on Deep.
Yeah,
Scan the pants.
You just pat down your guests like, this sucks. This is really intrusive.
We do 2 things. We pat down our guests and we just talk about the Doctor's dick. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doctor's dick. Doctor's dick. Doctor's dick. Doctor's dick. Doctor's dick.
Oh, I can't wait to send you that. Adam and Rose meet the Dalek. Adam warns, "Don't get too close," so Rose walks straight up into it
Oh, yeah.
until her face is centimetres away from it.
I mean, what's wrong with the girl?
I know.
Don't
Touching
get too
shit.
close.
When we were watching it, we actually just laughed at that point.
Yes.
It's like, what are you doing?
My favourite bit is a little bit later where they're trying to have like a conversation with the Dalek, and it's like she'll say something dramatic, and then you'll just hear as the thing has to turn
Yeah,
around
yeah.
and look at her, and then
Yeah.
as it turns to someone else.
Turn back to the
I
Doctor.
laughed out loud.
so
I was
good.
like, "This is ridiculous."
It's like how, like, most of the Batman suits, they can't turn their neck. So everything they have to just be like, like turn in a
Like a
perfect
tank,
circle,
yeah,
just
yeah.
to shuffle around. It's like, yeah, Batman's real cool when he disappears, but it's not great when he has to have a conversation with 2 people. He's just this whirling dervish.
That's why he doesn't talk that much. Rose feels sorry for the Dalek touching it. The energy of her time travel allows the Dalek to repower itself and break free. A power we didn't know the Daleks had.
Yeah. I mean, they do it again
Daleks,
later.
no, I want to break free.
I just like
Well,
the way...
he absorbed the internet, so he would have all of.
Exterminate. You will obey me, exterminate. Oh. Yeah.
You're an enemy.
Freddie
Why
got a
does
similar.
no one love me?
I just want to kill.
I want to.
God knows. God knows I want to kill.
Exterminate.
Exterminate.
I
so-
love that Dalek, Freddie Mercury.
It's just a Dalek, but he's got a mustache. Like, it's a mustache glued on
Oh
the
my
front
god,
of
that
it.
has to happen now.
Just underneath the plunger thing, yeah.
Someone make that.
Yeah.
His plunger is just filled with drugs.
Yeah, just
Like, anyone want drugs?
anyone.
And really tight pants somehow.
The little squiddy creature inside.
Yeah, that's what's wearing the tight pants, yeah.
Cool.
Simmons gets suckered to death.
He deserves it.
That's so bad. That is some of the worst comedy in all of the episodes. What are you going to do? Sucker me
Yeah.
to death?
But-
And then he gets suckered
but
to
it's-
death.
That has been going on in Doctor Who forever.
has.
What the hell is this sucker do?
Yeah.
And we never saw the sucker do anything in Doctor Who
That's
all the time.
pretty
I
cool
watched it.
that they did something with it. But
So they-
man, you could have done something. Like, you didn't have to have that line there. You could have just literally have
Yeah.
it, like, grab onto his face.
I think if
and
there
be
has been a
terrified.
history with
There's
it,
been a history of people go,
it's a
what's
bit of an in-joke.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
It's a
What
bit
is
of
it
an
with the
in-joke.
sucker? Is he going to suck him to
Okay,
death?
yeah.
Blah,
So
blah, blah.
it just seemed corny to me, but obviously it's a,
Yeah.
it's a
They
fan
they
thing a
could
little
have gotten
bit.
rid of it, but they literally decided to just try and figure out what it does.
What it does, what
Yeah.
to do
In
with
later
it.
series, they just get rid of the plunger, and they're like, "This is dumb.
They all, all
It's
the
a claw now."
all the designs change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, some of them still have the plunger, don't they? They have a whisk and a plunger.
A whisk.
A whisk?
Yeah, the little laser
the
beam looks
gun.
like
Yeah.
a whisk.
Yeah, on a pepper pot. That's pretty much what they are.
That's like the Yeti in the old seasons was
Yeah.
just a bearskin rug thrown over a guy with like a shiny Christmas ball put in his chest.
Or one alien was just green bubble wrap.
Yeah.
Oh,
Bubble
nice.
wrap painted green.
Well, no, he was turning into a Wirren. He was a human, but
which, as we know, looks like bubble wrap.
Bubble wrap. Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, so his hand was covered in bubble
Admittedly, a lot closer to what aliens would probably look like is just a pile of bubble wrap
Yes.
than like any sort of humanoid thing we see.
Yeah,
like,
true.
wrap. Well, we always think they'll be humanoids. 'Cause
Yeah.
we are.
Yeah.
Why couldn't they?
They have to
all
look
be?
like us.
Because the
cheap.
fact that we exist is astronomical. That's why
Yeah.
they can't be.
The Doctor warns that the Dalek will easily be able to unlock the heavy
Yeah.
door. So I suppose everyone just stands around waiting for it to do that.
Yeah. Well,
I had some problems with that door thing. They're like, it's a billion combinations. That
Yeah.
Dalek can never. And he says a Dalek can go through 1,000 billion in
Yeah.
a second or something. I'm like, use quadrillion. Quadrillion's a cooler word. It's more
A
sci-fi
Dalek
sounding.
can go through infinity plus one.
plus two.
I know the Dalek's better than you.
And then everyone stands around. Why is
Yeah.
it? And I was a bit pissed off with Rose through this whole thing. Because run.
She doesn't help
Don't
much.
stop
Yeah.
and
No.
look around.
Everyone tries to protect her and they all get killed.
And she's also just a liability. Like, she just does everything everyone tells her not to do.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
right.
She stands around looking confused. She flirts with psychopaths.
yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's the entire
She
point of her being on the
loiters
show.
when she's being chased by a Dalek.
Sheer thought.
Loitering around.
Van Statton issues the standard evil villain warning, don't hurt it, it's worth more than you.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Something he does multiple times throughout the episode. All he needs is an evil mustache to twiddle.
I had a boss tell me that about a horse once.
What?
Oh, really?
Yeah,
But you
except
were punching the horse
No,
way
no, no,
more
no,
than
no.
you should.
the horse was about to hurt me.
Oh,
and I was
Jesus.
like, I got out of the road, and then my boss was like, because the horse, she was tied up and she was pulling back.
Yeah.
And we were worried that the thing she was pulled, like attached to, was going to snap.
Yeah.
And then she'd fall over and hit her head. I was like, that horse is being dumb and it's about to go flying. I'm not going near her. And my boss was like, she's worth more than you, go and untie her.
Oh, Jesus.
Wow. It's just a horse.
And also, this has been another edition of Aria Salan's horse talk on other people's shows.
Well, that's all I do.
I don't think you've not talked about horses on any other podcast.
I always talk
It's
about
great.
horses.
Yeah.
That's what
No,
I do.
Horses in Space Camp. That's the two
Yeah,
things.
if you
Yeah.
want to hear Ari not talk about horses, then some of our podcast has that. Some of them. I can't guarantee how many, but some of them might have
Maybe
some.
like 2 or 3.
Yeah, yeah.
I've heard
As a
few.
man who isn't into horses and has never had much to do with horses,
You never met Ponyo.
it's
she
nice
ruled.
to live through you.
Yeah.
In your horse experience.
must
Maybe
be.
not that experience of being told that the horse is worth more than you.
Yeah, not a good one.
She probably was though.
Yeah, you're a person.
Like
and
I've
she's
got
a horse.
I think I've
So you
got
can
like
understand-
$20 in my bank account, and that horse was worth a few $1 million.
And also, it found a 50 that afternoon, so it immediately, literally makes it more
The
valuable.
thing it kicked broke open and just spit
Yeah.
out dollar
Yeah,
coins. You're like, God damn it.
Got a 50 in his mouth all day, like that
God, that
fucking rich horse, waving it in my face.
So what we're saying is we can all agree with Van Statton. Is that what we're saying?
I think so. Yeah.
100%.
He's our hero of this, right?
Yeah, he's the goodie.
Yeah,
Why
yeah,
didn't
yeah.
they make that series Van Statton?
Yeah, Van Statton.
The Dalek absorbs the entire internet off the west coast of America,
Yeah.
That's when he goes Super Saiyan 2. He gets the electricity all around him. That's how you know he's powered up.
Yeah.
which would
Did
really...
he get all the porn as well?
Well, that's what I was
wanna
going to say,
know.
which would really hamper Hollywood and the porn industry of California.
Well,
Yeah.
the west coast of California, he's got a lot of porn
yeah.
in
Got
him.
more porn than anything else, really.
I think, that's where it all comes from.
That's why I
That's
couldn't
where you
find
make
the Dalek.
American
Yeah.
pornography.
Yep.
He was distracted by
Yeah,
the
yeah.
porn.
This includes Playboy, which you guys did an episode on recently. A similar event will happen in the UK in 2018, again caused by a Dalek.
I love, that always happens. Dalek's fucking shit up.
Yeah.
But I love how we don't even have to promote our own podcast. He just keeps writing notes in to be like, your show does this.
Connecting the two
Very
podcasts,
nice,
you
yeah.
know.
Yeah, and if there aren't any plugs of ours, that's it.
Oh, we'll add them, that's fine.
Yeah, yeah.
The armoured guards fire their weapons at the Dalek, but a protective force field melts the bullets. Well, they actually just disappear, but we're told that they melt.
Yeah,
You know how
okay.
they had the thing in slow-mo, like
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
bullets in
Yeah.
slow-mo? Do either of you remember Korn's video for Falling Away From Me? When they came on, I was just
I
like,
thought that-
something takes
Yeah, Freak on a
part
Leash.
of my...
Freak on a Leash is the song.
Oh,
yeah.
Freak on a Leash.
Dalek takes a part of me.
I like the guy
Rose and I will never see.
I like the way there's that guy who's never fought against them ever, and when the doctor says, concentrate, he goes, "Oh, I think I know.
I think I know how to shoot one alien or whatever." It's like, all right.
How many dickheads can you get in one?
Everyone in that episode is just an asshole
worst.
except for the doctor.
Yeah.
I feel like the Dalek was a freak on a leash, though. Like when it was tied up.
That should be the alternative name of the episode.
Yes.
No, I want
leash.
to see. So there's a phenomenon with anime fans where they make like little video clips.
Oh, yes.
Of
Yeah.
like the best fights and stuff, but they put it to a different song.
Yeah.
If we can
yes.
get a
Dalek
Dalek
fights.
freak on a leash, Dalek anime music video, freak on a leash by Chord, that would be tremendous.
I could
That
probably
would
just
be
make it.
No, that's a lot of work. Get someone else to do it.
That would be the
You don't
most,
need to spend your time doing
That would be the most late 90s, early 2000s thing ever.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's what I
Yeah.
mean. Like some of the first things I downloaded off the internet were Dragon Ball Z anime music videos. It's a Linkin Park clip, Linkin Park song.
Rose and Adam race up the stairs, thinking that the Dalek can't follow them. A frequent joke made since the Dalek's creation.
That's right. You just have to climb up a ladder
There
and
we
they
go.
can't get you.
However, as our Dalek shows, they have been able to fly since the 80s.
I'm bummed about losing the stairs weakness though, because like the best thing about DC Comics is the characters' weaknesses.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
Superman's kryptonite and how like different colors of kryptonite mess him up different ways,
Yeah.
and how like Martian Manhunter can't even like look at a match. Like he recoils at a match because like his whole world was burned to the
Oh,
ground.
really?
Wasn't
And like things like that. Like it
wasn't Green Lantern's weakness the color yellow? or
originally it
something?
was
Yeah.
the color yellow. They can train it out now. So
Just
that,
anything that was yellow.
so the recruit there's a whole thing
Sun.
for Lantern recruits where they have to learn how to work on yellow basically. And then the original Green Lantern couldn't work on wood. The one before the
Well, neither
the
can the
Hal
Sonic
Jordan
Screwdriver.
one.
Is that what the Coldplay song was written about?
Yellow. Yeah, he was
like,
just
yeah,
really
yeah.
sad he
Weakness to
failed
it.
his training.
And it
as a-
was all yellow.
well, he was actually supposed to be the Green Lantern for this sector, but he couldn't get through that training. And it
I
just
went
jacked
to
him up.
Oa
Yeah, that's it.
and I
Yes.
trained on you,
Oh, what a thing.
but it turns out I was bad.
I couldn't move yellow.
We have created so many fan songs this episode.
really
This is
have.
amazing.
Unfortunately, if you have me on your podcast, there's going to be some unnecessary
Oh, I
singing.
love it.
Let's,
I love it.
I've started most of it, I think.
Nicchia, can we have more singing in our episodes?
Yeah, look, you sing all the time.
I do Bjork impressions.
do.
That's what I do. All of Van Statten's forces congregate in the weapons testing facility to try and stop the Dalek. However, it sets off the sprinkler system and electrocutes everyone.
Not how electricity works. Like,
No, they all have rubber
they're all
soled
that's
shoes.
exactly they're all wearing rubber soles.
They
Yeah,
all
yeah,
have
yeah.
rubber soled shoes on.
But what I do love is like how good would it be to be the soldier extra
Yeah.
who gets to die in that like sitting down, hunched in the
Yeah.
corner position, as opposed to the guy who's next to you has to like face down on some concrete.
Yeah,
it's like
with
yep.
the water pouring all
Yeah,
over.
yeah. So it's like, they're just like, blah, 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 blah. You're just like,
But I-
cool, I'm making $300.
But I loved watching it, and they added the special effect of the Dalek weapon. But if you take that off, it literally would have just been like you and four guys standing around and being like, okay, now. And you all just like,
You don't have to go
you're
like,
just like seizure and fall
it's
to
like a
the
bad
ground, like-
improv exercise. Yeah, that sucks.
But as I say, I did like the lonely Dalek in the
Yeah.
water coming down. I
Oh
thought
yeah, that was
Yeah.
that was a really
that was an
lovely
interesting
scene.
shot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. The Dalek keeps like coming out with these like real bleak, nihilistic,
Yeah.
suicidal thoughts. It's like, is that guy a millennial? I don't know.
That's right.
having
It's an
s-
emo Dalek.
Yeah, he's just on Twitter posting memes about how nothing matters. Like, what
I'm
is
the
going
only
on,
one of
Dalek?
my species.
That's what he did when he uploaded. That's the problem. He uploaded the internet, but
Yes.
all he got was just like sad Twitter. He just
MySpace.
got Twitter and Tumblr where they're all just like fetishizing their own mental illness and
Yeah.
just being sad about
What
everything.
am I meant to do with my life?
I wish my parents had exterminated me. Having scoured the internet for information on the Daleks, a rogue Dalek asks the Doctor, what is Abducted by the Daleks? And the Doctor has to tell him that it's a 2005 softcore lesbian adult film where three strippers are teleported aboard a Dalek ship.
There
really
is a
does
Dalek
exist.
porn movie.
Oh,
Unsurprised-
I'm not surprised
Yeah,
at all.
Not
but
one.
Unsurprisingly, the
specifically.
estate of Terry Nation sued them, and they changed the title of the film to Abducted by the Darloids.
Yeah.
Those damn Darloids.
Oh my
Only
goodness.
1,000 copies of the DVD were produced.
I'm going to assume there's a certain marital aid on the end of that plunger bit.
In this episode, Rose thinks the Dalek is checking her out.
Yeah.
She's like, I think it was looking at me. I
The
think
Dalek is checking her
Yeah.
out for most
She
of it.
thinks everyone's checking her out.
So vain.
She's
Yeah.
usually the hottest person in any episode, though.
Yes.
So, like, it's probably true.
Actually, the Dalek can't find any trace of its race and asks for orders. The Doctor tells the Dalek to kill itself.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Wow.
the Dalek is from like that scumbag leftist Twitter where you just like find a politician and
Yeah.
tell them to kill themselves.
Yeah.
That's what I like about the Doctor.
Well, I thought they were going to go with the more family-friendly destroy yourself.
Yeah.
But like
Exterminate yourself.
But like an emo breakup, the Doctor tells the Dalek to kill itself.
Literally,
It
like,
was so-
jump off the story bridge.
Yeah.
Fuck,
Yeah.
Doctor, that was really detailed.
I'll get you a knife.
He is very dark and very,
Yeah.
very
Yeah,
angry,
neck
and he's
yourself,
got the little
fuckhead.
bit of
Oh.
spit.
Just a robot.
Jesus. ugh.
He spits out and it sits there on his lip, and
Yeah, he gets real mad.
he mad.
I mean, literally, you should be super mad when you're telling something to kill itself.
Yeah,
Like,
basically.
If you
That's
come
not
to
how
that
you say
line,
jovially,
No,
is
don't
it?
be
No,
so
no.
flippant. Yeah.
Oh, good.
It is.
When-
It is
when
from
I
a
said-
race of genocide
when
people.
I send my daily emails to George W. Bush, yeah, same thing. Just drooling aggressively.
It's hard to get that drool, like the force of that drool.
That's
into
the problem. It
email.
doesn't come through.
No.
There's no e-drool to go with the
No.
email.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Oh, it would
A
be.
little bit of,
No.
you know.
No,
to be able
no,
to.
I wouldn't. No, I agree.
No, as you mentioned, dick pics earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no,
you'd just be getting.
That's true.
You'd be getting unwanted e-drool.
I saw you today, and you look. This is how hot you look.
Yeah.
God.
Blah. Ah.
Oh, well, that's a thing now.
Yeah.
The Dalek tells the Doctor.
Yeah, join our Kickstarter for e-drool. That's where you come in.
It's still cool to do Kickstarters that will never go anywhere. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Absolutely, apparently.
The Dalek tells the Doctor he would make a good Dalek.
Yes.
That was salty.
Got
Yeah.
him.
You would make a good Dalek, bitch.
Yeah.
And then the Doctor goes,
His righteous indignation showed pretty well
Yes.
through
Yeah.
the whole
Oh,
episode. Also, the Dalek said dead because of us at one point, and it sounded like he said dead because of us. And I'm like, been there, brother. Been there. Dead because of us.
"Us will kill
My
you."
ass is burning. Have you tried the hot wings? They are very hot. As the Dalek goes up the staircase, it politely follows the
Oh, yeah, it
staircase.
follows the spirals
Doesn't
and it's
fly
going
up straight
Yeah.
through the middle.
I think that is very civilized of the Dalek.
And it goes very slowly. It's like,
No, it's
It
still.
looks like it was on one of those like grandma chairlifts.
it probably
When I
was.
get up to the top of that.
If you take away the CGI, it was probably a dude like in a green screen thing just going doo.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like just in a ball, just rolling up.
with one arm out being like,
Yeah.
this is my store.
I am Dalek.
And why did they all just stand there?
yes.
Yeah, I
And
know.
why-
Whilst it started taking off, when that's clearly what it was about to do. It's like, what? They can fly now. Run. Like, no.
And then the woman,
What's it doing? Flying? It's
soldier
flying.
goes, oh, I'll wait and I'll hold it. No, you won't. You won't even dent it.
Adam makes it through the door, but Rose doesn't and is presumed dead. Well, it's not the worst way for a companion to go. At least she remembers her travels with the Doctor.
Yes, exactly.
I also love the like 12 dramatic shots of the enter button, just like,
Yes. They do all this coding, and then it's like enter closes it, and then enter opens it. You can just be
Yeah.
like beep 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 beep.
But like, there's like 9 different shots where like the Doctor's like, should I press the enter? It's like between his face, the bad guy's face, the enter button. His face, bad guy's face, enter button. It's fucking brilliant. If it's not deliberately because that's really funny, then I don't know what is.
But it turns out the Dalek hasn't killed Rose, who has transferred her emotions over to the Dalek along with her time vortex energy.
Yes.
Yeah, we've all
It's
done. We've all been
yeah.
there.
Oh yeah, we've all unfortunately
I
given our
together, who I
emotions to other
touch.
people.
Oh, yeah, it happens. My DNA just, I'm slinging it around. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Oh,
What's
we'd
it?
ask you to stop. Can you
Yeah.
please stop slinging your DNA around?
Never.
My
This
hair's
is a
getting sticky.
this is a
okay?
free country. What?
Save it for the Patreon episode.
Yeah, that's
Content, baby.
content.
And you too can receive a vial of Mickey's content.
A vial of content.
A vial of content.
We will drill mail it to you.
with the bits of my hair I'm cutting out.
Oh, God.
It's stuck in there.
The Dalek uses Rose as a hostage, and the Doctor reopens the door to save her. So, good plan then.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Why
that
they
worked
went
for all
to
of a
all
second.
the trouble.
And then the Dalek shouts about, like, what am I? I'm like, I feel it, dude. I know. How am I identifying with this
Someone
guy?
puts on some corn, and
Yeah.
it's like, here, oh, yes.
No, it's like Sufjan Stevens or something really like wanky like that. He's like, what am I? Like just crying in his bedroom like, oh man, that was last Thursday. I know this one.
Why did I kill so many people? They could have been my friends.
Why do I murder those I love?
Also, the Doctor's feelings for Rose are so obvious that even a Dalek can see them.
Yes.
You love this woman. I've only really met you guys right now, but it's so obvious.
You want to get it. Jesus. Really sexual Dalek.
She put her DNA in me, and I think she kind of likes you too.
3-way question mark.
Obviously, he'll have to stay off the bed. the
Yeah,
Dalek.
no, you can't. It's
Yeah.
not a bed-based
No,
thing
it's
with you and the
definitely not.
Dalek.
There has to be standing. You know?
Dalek.
Get
Why do you have
into-
so many broken beds? I'm into Daleks, man. I'm really into Daleks.
Oh, man.
How much of this episode do you get to keep?
I am so glad I have emotions now.
And bonus.
Yeah. What happened to my Dalek peen?
We see it later, apparently.
Yes. It should be noted that Christopher Eccleston is 18 years older than Billy Piper. So gross. Yep.
Yeah.
To make matters worse, the Ninth Doctor is at least 881 years older than Rose Tyler.
Yeah.
Gross. Yes.
Yeah, that's
super
even
gross.
grosser.
Adam shows the
Yeah,
Doctor.
but that's like Twilight as well. Twilight, she's like 1,000 years old, and he's like, oh, like high schoolers. Like,
Yeah.
you've lived for 1,000 years. You're a predator.
You should
That's what
wait
you-
until she's 18.
Yeah.
Yeah, meet her at a nightclub.
Yeah.
You can go to those, sparkly boy. Like,
Yeah, but that's also like Hollywood, where it's like, you're a female who's 2 years younger than our lead star, you have to play his mum.
well, yeah, the time difference here isn't that big as between like Jerry Seinfeld and the 16-year-old he dated
Yes.
whilst he was
Oh,
making
gross.
Seinfeld.
Fucking
Oh, or Elvis, who married
I
a
can't.
14-year-old.
Yeah.
Ari can't go on a podcast without talking about
Woody
horses. I can't go on a podcast without ruining a famous person
Yeah.
for people.
And the most recent one is Millie Bobby Brown and Drake.
Yeah.
Yep.
That is
yeah.
gross. Oh.
And there's footage of him kissing 16-year-olds at
Oh.
concerts and stuff.
No.
So the Daleks, eh?
Yeah. We were talking about Daleks. At
Things
some
that
point.
aren't as bad as the
Yeah.
that's that.
Not as
The
Oh,
bad.
Daleks.
Right.
the Daleks are way better. They're only based on the Nazis.
Yeah. They're just space racists.
Yeah.
Rose convinces the Dalek not to kill Van Statton, though I'm not sure why, considering he's the bad guy. And the Dalek just wants freedom.
It wants to feel the sun.
I don't want to let you down,
What
freedom.
about the rest of us, though, that are apparently under this rich dude's thumb the whole
Well,
time?
Well.
We're not anymore.
So Rose takes it outside the office and the Dalek shoots a hole in the roof. The Dalek opens its metal casing so it can feel the sunlight on its goopy, drippy tendrils.
That's, I think, where the effects budget for that episode
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
went,
definitely.
is entirely on that
Yeah.
Dalek. Because that actually looked pretty good.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
that was some good
That'd have to be a
practical
practical
effects and
yeah.
stuff, yeah.
Like the eye moving and the
Yeah.
dripping and
They're
that's
so
actually really good.
gross.
They're
Also-
very gross.
Would have been real different if it was a Japanese thing. Just saying, just tentacles. Yeah, anyway.
Yeah, Rose would have totally been into it as soon as it opened. The Doctor goes to kill the Dalek, but stops when he sees it playing in the sunlight. Whee!
Do you think, or he stops when Rose says it's not the one pointing a gun
It's
at me?
changing, Doctor.
It's
Yeah,
not the one
It's
pointing a gun.
changing.
It's,
Doesn't she says that about every guy she's into?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
yeah.
changing.
I can change him.
oh,
He
yeah,
did, like,
she's a serial.
did nearly like start World War III, but like
Yeah.
he's changed
Oh,
since
yeah.
then.
She has literal daddy issues because she goes back and stops her dad from being killed.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, there you
That's
go.
literal.
Wow.
This is a little bit of a sidebar, but I couldn't help think of the Dalek saying, oh, behave, like Austin Powers. I don't know why, that just sat in my brain the whole
behave.
time.
I've lost my mojo.
Now he's got Rose's mojo.
The Dalek,
Rojo, if you will.
The Dalek, unable to live with the mutation from Rose's DNA, asks Rose for orders to kill itself. After a brief resistance, she tells it to die,
Yeah, I know.
thus getting her first taste of blood.
Yeah. The doctor tells it to die, it doesn't.
Yeah.
Rose tells it to die, it kills
it
itself.
does. Neck yourself.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
All right,
she kills an
honey.
entire Dalek fleet at the end of the series, so she literally does get a taste
that is
of
a
blood.
that's
true.
a taste. Like, oh, that's actually real easy. I can do that a lot.
Yeah, can we do that again?
Yeah.
Bring me another Dalek, Doctor. I want to kill it. The baubles fly off the Dalek, creating a force field, and the Dalek destroys itself.
They're called Dalek bumps.
I call them baubles because it's funnier. Henry von Statton is removed as the head of his own company for some reason.
But she's just as bad as him.
Yeah.
It's not a happy
Yeah.
ending in that regard. Like,
no, but
it's-
he kind of gets the ending he deserves, doesn't he?
he deserves it, but like she just turns into him like
Yeah.
immediately. Without
Surely there would need to be a board meeting where they elect her as like president of a company.
No,
you
it's
know?
like a violent coup essentially.
Yes.
Yeah, and then where did they drop him off? Sacramento.
Somewhere starting with
Somewhere
S.
starting with it.
I'm sure no one will question how the head of a Fortune 500 company ended up homeless on the streets.
Yeah, because no one will recognize that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
one of the most famous figures in the world.
Unless
Junkie
they shave
dog.
his mustache, and then nobody will
That's
recognize
true.
him.
That'll get
He'll
him.
have nothing to twirl.
Rose convinces the Doctor to take Adam with them, and he follows them inside the TARDIS to be the shortest companion in the show.
And to
as
be
we
the
mentioned.
worst companion.
Oh, the worst.
I didn't like him
The
straight
Just
up.
worst
terrible.
companion.
Why do they have to name him Adam?
And I like a sidekick. Big fan of Robin. I buy Robin comics, which is a thing I'm not allowed to say when people can see my face.
Really?
Well, he's 16. I once said I was more into Robin than Catwoman and got quite a lot of...
Oh, no, yeah.
Yeah, you can't say things like that. I mean, I just mean like from a published comic point of view, but no.
But everyone thinks of Catwoman as a pervy thing, you know?
Yeah. Which
so
means that
that's actually on them rather than you.
Yeah,
probably,
right.
but
Yeah.
still,
They judge-
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The judgment still comes.
That was my husband's first crush, was
Robin?
Catwoman. No, Catwoman. Robin, I don't know if we'd be together, but it was...
I'm just saying, when you have a mustache like this, you
Oh,
can't
yes,
say
true,
how
yeah.
you like boy comics. That's all.
All right, that's our episode for today. Thank you
Yeah.
very much for joining us.
Sorry, we ruined it.
Well, yeah,
No, it was
sorry,
fantastic. This is great content.
It's going to come out. It's going to be 30 minutes long for just the amount of stuff
It's gonna
we've
be
had
10
to
minutes of
remove.
So as we
Yeah.
like to do, we like to give the episode a score out of 5.
I thought it was quite a dumb
Mm.
episode, especially like I've seen Doctor Who episodes that are better. So I'm literally down the one end of the pool.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
I was not a fan. I tried to be nice about it, but did not enjoy the episode.
Yeah, I've given episodes 1 before.
Yep, that's fine.
You know.
I
Ari?
think I'd give it a 2 because I'd be like, you have to watch it to see how funny it is.
It's almost worse. It's almost like a -1. You're like getting other people to shit on it.
No, because I enjoyed it for what that is.
Yeah.
But then, like that early first season, sort of second
Oh, yeah.
season,
Yeah.
of the new stuff,
Yeah.
didn't.
It doesn't date well.
Well, like the
Well,
Dalek,
you
it
don't
didn't know
think
what
that-
it was yet.
Yeah.
Well, it's a different show than what it was,
Yeah.
and it's still trying to find its
Yeah.
legs as that new show.
Like we were talking about before, how there's a episode later in the same series where it's reality TV shows.
Yeah.
wow.
And Big Brother and
How to dress or something.
How to Dress and
The Weakest
Link.
Oh my god.
It is
Yeah.
not. It does not age at all.
Yeah, and
like
it's
those
not
game
the-
shows were old when the episode aired.
Yeah, exactly. That's
And then
weird.
they're probably still on in the UK because I think some.
It's fine.
Oh,
I just
we-
dropped a remote
we dropped a
control.
body,
That's fine.
Yeah.
Let
Oh, yeah, that's the corpse I was throwing.
bodies. Let the Daleks hit the floor. Let the Daleks hit the floor.
Right. Watching it the second time, or watching it for this, is different to the first time I watched it. I initially would have given it a 4 because I liked it. I liked the Daleks coming back, and I liked just one Dalek because they're quite, they're still
Yeah,
quite
true.
scary.
It was good getting to know a Dalek.
Yeah.
Just to go on a first date with a Dalek.
Well, and it was the first time I'd ever really had a
gonna pitch
conversation with
that
the
to
Dalek.
MTV.
So,
Yeah.
Data Dalek
Data
on
Dalek.
MTV.
Yeah,
Are we
so-
going Dutch on this day?
Would you like my score?
Yes, certainly.
Would you like me to just shut up?
Well, sorry, we're just content, baby.
Other riffs.
Yeah. What's your score out of 5?
3.5.
All right,
Yeah.
I'm going to give it a 3. There's a lot I like. I don't want to say a lot I like about the episode. I love that we've talked about the Doctor losing his shit at the Dalek
Oh,
and
yeah, that was
getting
good.
angry and actually, but there is a lot of silly stuff about it. The CGI doesn't hold up very well. The characters don't hold up very well.
The jokes are.
The jokes
Not
are
good.
abysmal. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't
But
quite.
he's a great doctor.
But it's still.
Oh,
it's,
yeah.
It's still an okay episode to watch.
I think every Doctor would have bad episodes.
Oh, definitely.
Like
yeah.
stuff
Yeah,
that
yeah.
doesn't quite get there.
And Doctor Who's hit and miss.
yeah.
Yeah.
One
Well, they-
one week you'll have the best episode ever, and then
Yep.
the next week it'll
Yeah.
be.
They try a lot. Like, that's the
Yeah.
thing, is they're swinging for fences.
Yeah.
On
Yeah.
every
Yeah.
different
And I'd rather
episode,
them
so.
do that and have a bad episode every now and again than to just put out the same
Just monotony,
stuff
yeah.
every single
Yeah.
time.
Exactly.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, that's the thing. You kind of enjoy the bad ones a little bit because you're like, oh wow, that was.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and the bad stuff about this episode is enjoyable. 'Cause it's
That's
like,
exactly
this is not
it.
aged well.
Yeah.
Easy, yeah.
Now, everybody who comes on our podcast, we ask them, what would your Time Lord name be?
Well, my first thought was the failure, but shad podcast. Oh, we do shad stuff.
The content.
Yes. No, but that content
The DNA
Yeah,
bomb.
they would
yeah.
read as that. Yours is the commander.
I'm the commander.
Mine's the nerd.
The nerd.
Yes.
If I had one, if I was to name you,
Yeah, let's do each other.
Oh,
That might
this
be
is
the way to
interesting.
do
Really
it.
good idea,
Okay.
because I didn't pick mine.
That's true.
Given to me.
I feel like you'd be like the shouty boy.
The,
The shouty boy.
the loud one. Just
I'll just call you Yellow.
the projector, yeah.
Oi, geezer, you heard about the shouty boys
Oi,
coming over?
there's a couple of shouty boys down the road.
Yeah.
And who
Just
do you
shout.
think you are? Well, I'm the shouty
Oh,
boy.
the shouty
The
boy.
shouty boy who?
Yeah. I tell you what, during the war, I hated when the Germans used their shouty boys.
I like the shouty boys. Something
All
like
right.
that.
Okay.
Fantastic.
The shouty boy.
I think Ari. I like Beastmaster for Ari. Just
The
because.
Beastmaster.
Master.
Just because, like, she got like a bajillion animals, all of different types.
Yeah,
It's
I
just-
mean, it's like a menagerie here. Do you know, they're everywhere.
And this isn't even my house.
it's that or the emasculator. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, that's
And then we
cool.
find out later that the TV show Beastmaster was based on you.
Based
because
on you.
As
That's
you've
a
travelled
TV
through
show.
time.
And a film, I
Yeah.
believe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a TV show. I was actually talking to one of the. I was doing some work with one of the actors who was in it. He had to stand in the middle of a lion, not a lion,
Oh my
tigers thing,
God.
because he was the Lord of Tigers. And they said to him, "Now just try not to move."
Don't move. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he had to act.
Oh my god. Okay, so don't move, but now act.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
yeah.
said it was very, very scary.
Yeah, I bet.
Golly. Beastmaster sounds really sexual.
Yeah, Beastmaster. You sexy
Sorry, I don't
Beastmaster.
get-
Yeah, you could call someone.
You're the one who finds that sexual. I didn't. I think it means animal. You
We'll
control
call you
animals.
Beastie for short.
Oh, gross.
Oh, I think that
Shouty.
sounds
This is
sexual.
getting really
Beastie
bad.
sounds
This
sexual.
is getting bad.
All right.
I don't like this game anymore.
Let's wrap up that content, baby. Please be sure to check out the excellent Ain't It Rich podcast, available on iTunes, Spotify,
our
and
podcast.
ain'titrich.com. It is one of my favorite podcasts. I
thank
really,
you so
really
much,
love it.
Adam.
Is there anything you guys would like to plug other than the podcast?
No, just pretty much the podcast. Keep
Yeah.
listening to Ain't It Rich. It's,
Do you have a comedy page?
No, not yet. I should probably do that. Hey, have
And
actually.
do you guys have a Facebook page?
yeah, we've
we
got all
do.
the social
we also
medias.
have a group, Ain't It Rich Comrades.
Oh, that's actually a good. Yeah,
Which is really fun. People just post dumb...
post things all the time. Yeah.
It's everything from like dumb rich people related memes to like, oh, look at this depressing thing I found out.
Yeah. So yeah, jump on the comrades, Ain't It Rich comrades.
All
You'll
right.
notice it by the giant picture of Ronald Reagan in a love heart.
And look, just to
That's an
clarify,
in joke.
we don't actually love Ronald
We
Reagan.
do not love Ronald
Yes,
Reagan.
you do.
He
you
does.
really love Ronald.
God damn it! Why?
I mean, there's
I'm
literally
never-
a framed photo of his
Yeah.
face surrounded by a love heart out
Yeah.
there. How do you explain that?
Yeah.
Some asshole gave it to me and screwed me over at a live event.
Who would do that?
Just animals.
Okay, Nicchia, your plugs?
Mine is just for All In Brewery. So once a month, the last Friday of every month, 4 comedians each time. So come along to see that. And
It's
also,
such a good room.
Yeah, it's a real good room.
And we're trying to make it better and better. And then Nicchia Shot Comedy and D4WH.
If there's 4 comics, for anyone who doesn't go to comedy shows that often, if there's only 4 comics on the lineup, that means you're getting a good chunk of all those comedians. You are
Yes.
going to see a lot of good comedy, not
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
flailing to try and
Yeah.
fit their
Try and
stuff in
fit five
5
There's
minutes.
minutes.
60 people on the lineup.
Yeah, you get 6 seconds of comedy.
As always, you can follow Adam O'Sullivan Comedian on Facebook and visit thenerdinfinite.com. D4WH is on Facebook. Give our page a like for updates and follow us on Twitter at D4WH.
I'm so
Pod.
excited because we have 79 Twitter followers. And I started off with none.
Nice.
And I didn't think I was going to get any. So,
Nice.
yay!
Good meme content too. They
Yeah.
got some quality memes coming up on their page, so
Yeah.
get amongst it.
Rate
Get
and
into
review us on iTunes, recommend us on Facebook, and follow us on Podbean. We are also now available on Spotify.
Yeah.
Also, get the word out. You might
Unless you talk about China.
No, yes, yeah. Well, we have to get ourselves banned by a country like you guys.
Yeah.
Get the word out. You may be working in an office when you go around a corner and walk smack into someone else. Later, you take the last biscuit from the biscuit tin just as someone enters the kitchen with their coffee cup. It's the same person.
Oh.
At the end of the day, as you're in the lift heading out, the lift doors open, and on steps, yes, that same person. They have their headphones in, and you can hear people talking. You reach out and remove one of their headphones, unable to stop yourself. They look at you weirdly, but you say, D4WH? A smile crosses their face. You've made a lifelong friend through the D4WH podcast. It's a shame you get fired a month later. Until next time, keep searching the skies for the Doctor.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
This has been a production of the Nerd Infinite. And then the sound of dragons spitting fire and stuff. What? Why are you looking at me like that?